All right, y'all, we are back and we are on, I don't remember, season something, episode something of Black Ink Crew New York. I'll put it in the description bar below. Um, and we're still in the whole Sky mad at C's thing about the boutique in Miami. So she calls C's and has this horrific, unbelievable, we would never believe that in a million years cough that she was sick. Saying it was the fakest cough ever, saying she was sick. So I already knew she's going to call out of work at Black Ink to go to Miami to work on her boutique. So that's exactly what happens. He tells her, take the day off. Des can stay with me. She asked him, could Des stay? He said yes. Excuse me. And she is off to Miami. She looks at us. She looks at one place and she's excited about it, and she has a couple of doubts because of what C's told her. But eventually, she decides to go with it, and now she has agreed to a building in Miami. According to the TV Magic, it was after one visit, but I doubt that she made a decision off of the first place she visited. I hope she did, but yeah. We cut back to the shop in New York, and everybody's sitting around talking, and for whatever reason, Donna is adamant on being a predator and making low-key sexual suggestions to 18-year-old Des, which is Sky's son, which she don't want to do because Sky's a fucking nutbag. But they're playing marry, kill, have sex with, and he wants to kill Kitty, marry Donna, and have sex with, I forgot the third name. It might have been Bae. But, and then Walt goes, why would you want to marry Donna? Nobody wants to marry Donna, blah, 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 blah. So that was funny. And then Mel walks in. I think that's Melody. Melody walks in with this dejected attitude and looking all sad and has this sweater cap on, and everybody's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking like that? And she has a sad look on her face. Everything didn't go good with me and Lalo. We ended up breaking up. And she snatched the hat off and she shaved her head off. She has a pretty decent shaped head, let's just say that. But when the camera cut to C's and his bald chrome dome, took me out because I felt like they was looking trying to compare the two bald heads. But yeah, so she's gone full breakdown mode because her and Lalo broke up. Yeah. Not only does Mel come to reveal her new bald head to everybody, but she comes to let C's know that she is going to quit the shop temporarily or permanently or whatever the time span is going to be. She's not sure, in order to go live with her mom in Florida until she can figure out how to process what's happened between her and Lalo. So that's probably her grand exit from the Black Ink franchise. Moment of silence for Melody. Moment over. So yeah. So we'll see who takes her place. I don't think she was the manager at one point, and then Duchess, and then Sky, and then Donna. Everybody's been the manager of that shop, so she really didn't have a place other than being a tattoo artist. So I don't think she'll be very missed in the grand scheme of TV sake. So Ted and Tati are shoe shopping, and he's not in good spirits or whatever, and she kind of asks him what's wrong, and he lets her know, like, we recall throughout the years his brother has been on trial for a crime he supposedly didn't commit. It's a homicide, and he's been in jail about 4 years awaiting trial. And I guess they finally got a court date, and something happened and still got postponed it. So they're back in the waiting game, which definitely sucks, especially if he's innocent. So yeah, that's kind of sucks. Definitely sucks. His mom is getting ready to head back to Korea, and Bae asks her, what you want to do before you leave, and basically they just get around to her trying to talk to him into getting married before she leaves in the next couple of days. And Rob surprisingly agrees with the mama Bae. And Bae is just like, y'all give me some time to think about it. Like, we're rushing a little bit. And their mom, Bae's mom, just thinks because they already had the baby, then they should just hurry up and get married. So yeah, whatever. Not interesting. All right, so everybody's just reminiscing about Mel and she's just kind of sad that she's gone, which I find it interesting that he happened to be more sympathetic to Mel, even though she's been there less time than Sky. Just saying, I understand she has to get herself together. She has to do what's best for her and her kid. But you can't keep that same energy for Sky. Okay, milk the head ass. Anyway, and then everybody's just talking and, reminiscing or whatever. And he sees the same video I saw a couple months ago on Sky's Instagram where she posted, her getting the keys to her boutique, and he has an attitude, and then he launches his phone across the room and totally destroys something that he paid for, and he's gonna have to pay for it to fix, whatever. Throws his phone across the room and asks everybody else in the room, "Did y'all know about this?" And everybody's like, "No, I ain't know nothing about it." Good, because I'm tired of people saying fuck C's and whatever. So he has an attitude because Sky decided to use her money to do something to make her life more beneficial. Okay, C's. Man, bye. Shit. That's just stupid to have an attitude about that. Sky is in Miami checking out other boutiques and other places, just having whoever this random girl that is with her kind of try on bathing suits to get a feel for the textures and the things she's going to be putting in her shop. And she says she posted the video by accident to Instagram, and then she ended up having to take it down. Now, I'm sure, excuse me, I don't know, I'm burping so much. I'm sure she can see that Caesar saw, she's able to tell that Caesar saw the Instagram post before she took it down, so whatever. So yeah. So I guess she's trying to keep that she's still trying to keep the shop under wraps. Now we go back to the New York shop, and Caesar is tattooing Fat Boy SSC, whoever that dude is that's all over Instagram and like gives away money, and he's a rapper and all these different things. So they've had a couple celebs on the show this season, I guess, which is good for exposure. So yeah, he's tattooing him. All right, so Fat Boy SSC has gotten his tattoo, and he's headed out the door, and Caesar notices Ted sitting on the couch, and, he still has a sad face on and not really excited about anything that's going on around him. And Caesar, asks him, what's wrong? And he was like, his brother took a plea deal today or whatever day that was on the show, and he took a plea deal for 13 years, even though his opposer did not do the murder and he didn't do anything. He took a plea deal because of a bunch of other conspiracy charges, I guess, that they would have trumped up on the kid. So he took 13 years as a plea instead of taking his chances in court, instead of taking his chances with the jury. And so he's not excited. He's not real sure how he's gonna keep himself together after this. And so yeah, this is it sucks. The system sucks. All the shit sucks, and there's not much that could be done at this point, but I feel bad for poor Teddy. Okay, so I had to pause my TV for a second because Donna's fraternal twin sister is coming to meet her and Alex. She flew in from Cleveland. Yay, we get it. Cool. She says that's her best friend, and it's about time. Her and Alex has been dating almost a year. I didn't think it was a year, but whatever. And she thinks it's time that he meets her family, right? Cool. Understandable. That happens in the logical progression of things, right? However, you know what? They might be a perfect match because I'm going to start calling them hoes Dumb and Dumber. Alex and Donna, Dumb and Dumber. Alex is probably just dumb. Donna's dumber. Okay? Because Alex says, hey, how's that your twin sister? And y'all don't look exactly alike. But the thing about it is he was definitely perturbed in his spirit. He could not figure it out. His face was definitely concerned. And she explains to him, what fraternal twins are, and he still don't understand what that means. So Donna goes on to give him a explanation of what fraternal twins are. Donna says fraternal twins are 2 eggs, 2 different semens that got fertilized. Bitch, what the fuck? Donna, that means y'all not twins. That means y'all like sisters. That means y'all got 2 different daddies. What? Donna, two different types of semen? Two different semens? I get that. To the two-head concept, you were spot on. But you fucked up the game with the two semens. You almost had me. You were so close to being right. I give up. It's just fucking dumb. All right, so moving on to the next scene. Finishing up that scene with Donna. Her sister comes in, they're all giddy, and her and Alex are all giddy, and her and sister are just chatting and smiling and having a good old time. And then the energy shifts. And her sister starts asking, Donna's twin sister is asking the questions that Donna should have asked long before now. So she goes on to ask Alex. She doesn't ask him, hey, where you from? What's your favorite color? What kind of music you like? She asks him the little surface shit. With this being her first time meeting Alex, she asks him, how much money do you take home every week? Has Donna met your son yet? Why hasn't she met your son yet? Are you paying child support? Do you see yourself marrying her? What's taking so long? Another valid question she asked him was, why do you call yourself the vagina slayer? Are you everybody's vagina slayer? Or are you just her vagina slayer? And, he kind of talked his way out of that one, but she just kept firing the questions off, firing. And I was like, you need to chill out. You're doing a lot right now. And she goes out the handle and storms out of the restaurant. So I'm going to come to the conclusion that Donna's sister is campaigning for a spot on the show, and she is doing a great job at crazy. Okay? And her mom are talking, and after she took her mom to see the Eiffel Tower, whatever, some landmark in New York, I don't remember. After she took her mom to see it, they're sitting down, and her mom was like, hey, about a conversation from the other day, they're speaking in Korean, I think, about our conversation from the other day. Why does it feel like you don't want to get married? And Bae is just saying, everything's fine right now, but what if we get married and everything changes? And her mom is like, what do you mean by that? And she was like, when you and Dad got married, everything changed, and that's when he started beating us up and blah, 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 blah. So her mom asked her, do you think you were traumatized by what happened between me and your dad? And, they have a little moment there, and her mama kind of feels to blame for Bae feeling like that. And, so I guess that is a better explanation, and hopefully that will pacify Bae's mom for the time being. All right, so Donna finally meets up with her sister after she stormed off and, asked her sister, like, why were you going so hard? And her sister kind of told her, these are questions that you should have been asking. However, you have a horrible track record, and, I just knew you weren't going to ask the questions. And, her sister's just going hard, like going ham, but she's got a point, though. Like, Donna doesn't have a track record, but then she goes on to say, like, the first time I ever seen Alex is when you and Alex's sex tape was leaked, and now I'm having answers to my friends and family members as to what's going on and why they keep picking these same kind of dudes. And, she's just trying to explain this to Donna, and Donna's like, you know what, you're just coming down here and you being a bitch about things, and you're not even trying to get to know Alex, and blah, 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 blah. So they both have legit points, but I'm never going to take Donna's side. So her sister was right. You have poor choice in men. And like she said, every time a man comes and goes, she's always the one that's sitting there listening to you boo-hoo about them and, going through it. So she just wanted to ask the questions that needed to be asked. So, hey, they get into it, and Donna tells her to find her own way back to Cleveland. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Scene. So Sky is back at the shop, and all this shit with her and Caesar are about to come to a head. Her top keeps popping over for whatever reason, and she's like, oh my God, I feel like such a fat ass because my top doesn't fit. And Caesar's like, hey, why don't you go buy a new one at your shop, your boutique that you opened in Miami? And she's just sitting there like, oh shit, I guess he did see the post before she decided to delete it. So she was like, yeah. He was like, you told me you weren't going to open a shop. She was like, I didn't tell you that. I told you I came to my senses. And by coming to my senses, I meant that I was still going to open my shop. I brought it to you, and you didn't support that. You didn't support it initially. So I still went about it my own way and did something for me, essentially. All right, so they're still just going back and forth about this boutique, and basically Caesar's on this whole, she's second in command in the whole Black Ink franchise, and there's no way she could be second in command for him and have her own thing. She can't do both, because if she was able to effectively do both, she wouldn't have been in Miami, which you got 10 other people sitting on the wall, however many. You got 10 other people sitting on the wall doing absolutely nothing. They're not talking about bras and panties and not wearing bras and panties and the lack thereof and whatever else the conversation was before she walked in. They couldn't have managed? Okay, see, whatever. we're gonna make this personal. So she was like, I'm just gonna move forward. I'm still gonna move forward with my boutique and move forward with my life. How can you move forward? What's moving forward without Black Ink? Cease. Black Ink ain't the end all be all. Like, let these people grow, sir. But whatever. So we'll see how this goes. Either they have a big blowout and they never talk again, which is the way Caesar operates ex friendships, or all of this was for a storyline and they'll be back together after a smoke session. All right, so there is a lot that's gonna be happening next week, same time, same place. Sky got fired because she told Caesar was like, he's the boss. And she was like, yeah, you the boss of this shit. You're not the boss of mine. That's why I started my own shit, essentially. So he's like, since you want to do your own thing, you're fired. She sashayed out the door, not really concerned about it. But on the way out, he called her a lying-ass bitch. And her son was still sitting there. I'm going out the door with my mama, and I might fuck around and hit you in the mouth on the way out. Just off GP. Anyway, so that is going to happen. So in the preview for next week, Tati becomes, I guess, second in command. She's taking Sky's spot. I don't know how this hierarchy works and how Tati ends up being second in command over everybody else that's been there for years, but whatever. I digress. None of my business. She ends up being second in command. Caesar's going to bring in 3 new people, 3 new tattoo artists. What else happened? Donna decides that she's going to question Caesar's decision making again. And, they get into it and they're literally about to come to blows. And then I guess Alex attempts to defend Donna because Donna and Caesar are about to come to blows. And now Caesar wants to fight Alex. Tati is at yet another Black Ink crew shindig at the tattoo shop and leaves with some other dude. And what's his face? Ted looks heartbroken. So this may be the point. This may be the breaking point. I smacked myself on the leg. This may be the breaking point for Ted at this point. So, yeah, it's going to be lots of drama. Lots of drama next episode. So let's stick in there. Stay tuned.